Look, look, what's good? What's going on, everybody? Look, if you didn't see the first part, go ahead check it out. I did ramble a lot, but basically, you just want to go off what you know already, what you've been, um, like whatever power you are. If you change your powers, okay, utilize what you were before. Utilize what you know, how stuff works, how the game is going, whatever the case may be. Whatever. If you don't want to be relying on YouTube view, just call if you have one. If not, you can just join me. Shouting out for stuff. Plenty ones you can join if you need one. Whatever. Okay. Let me know. We are in the 237 crew. Okay. Now look, a little example. As you see here, I was doing tsunami strikes and I was trying to basically gauge it. Okay. It does not that much. 15, 11, 39, right? Okay, cool. 16, 11, that's a crit. And 16. Yeah, 5. It normally just 5 in the middle. So the first and last one does the most amount of damage. First one does almost as much as the last, and the middle one is around 5 or 11. Well, I tested, right? But normally 15s ranges, and then around 30, almost 40, either 40, 41, 39, stuff like that. You can see here, pretty much the numbers I've been getting, right? 37, 38, okay, 39. But, little thing. And then you have tsunami strikes here, 42, 28. Let's try it again, 43, 26. It keeps critting. Okay, that one says 16, 11. Now, somewhere to tsunami strikes. So, most people be like, oh, tsunami strikes technically do more per thing. Yes and no. Clue cell that it crit more consistently just there and using it a couple times. But even when it didn't, this did 16, almost 800. Highest strike on tsunami strikes did 16, almost 5. So it does more initially. Then the other one can make up for it. And sometimes they don't crit. My fault. Sometimes they don't crit altogether. But even with that, okay, it does, good, keeps critting very consistent. When tsunami strikes doesn't seem to crit as consistently. If you read power direction, basically this takes more additional damage for crushed enemies. This one doesn't. Now, when you're in a dilemma where you're testing stuff out, because I was testing this out, didn't do much damage at all. It's like 11, 14 crits for 30. This one, as we saw before in the first video, no crit, about 20, because his 4 hits are about 5,000 some change. 20 plus, right? If it does crit, almost 50. I utilized the shark. Shark was basically in between these two. So if I'm trying to do almost damage, I'll go depth charge, personally. Plus, it gives you a little bit more time, so basically have more chances to crit. Now, that doesn't always apply, because as we see with these two, these are very similar. They're both like combo powers, whatever, which you definitely have to learn the combo if you switch to new power, or if you're trying out a power. First time, whatever. With that said, because they're very similar, I'm probably going to give it to the even flow here, more because it does more damage to crushed enemies, so we're going to test that out too. See how much more damage. Got crushed PI, we know, because it has a little stuff going around it, looking at it. But now let's try 46, 12, 46, 31. That did 40. 16, 29. Oh, real strong. 46, 13. So, even the 13, 12, which is almost 13 there, that's very close to how Tsunami Strikes was hitting for this other one. So yeah, I think to basically save time and utilize it. Still utilizing the damage from it, because this isn't the best damaging power, but I'm gonna make it work. Just wait. And this predicament, I'm gonna probably go with some that crits more consistently, and hits more because of the power interaction and whatnot. Because I have never utilized power interaction in my loadout. Now this, since it did hit 40, kind of interests me now. So I might go use this too. I don't know. But I know I'm not using that, so I will delete out my thing. You know I'm not using that. I know try to use Robot Sidekick as a staple is a good damaging dot. And if I need an extra move, Whirling Dervish, or if those moves don't hit as hard as this, then I would definitely use Whirling Dervish. Yeah, that's basically about it. Now let's say your crushing wave isn't that consistent or it's not hitting that hard. Whatever the case may be, right? Say I got Whirling Dervish and it's not hitting hard enough that you don't think it's worth it. We already tried. The shark wasn't really worth it. The water spouts wasn't exactly worth it. Tsunami Strikes wasn't exactly worth it either. The Aqua Lance was decent. I don't actually know how much it does with power interaction. Well, that's not 38. That's pretty good. 16 with power interaction. It's not the greatest. Okay, 45. That's pretty good. And we know from over there, the 3, it does hit multiple targets at the same time, like that little area. 17 is still power interaction? No, it is not. You can tell because the power interactions have status effects around the bodies of the enemies. 42 still. So this is pretty good. We might end up using Aqua Lance as well. Oh, not, let me de-summon the Robot Sidekick. I wanted to test out this 16. You know what? I'm gonna give it to the Aqua Lance and not the Crushing Wave because it hits harder, has a higher damage threshold. So what you want to look for is stuff like this when you have similar powers or you're trying to build up a loadout. I'll give it to Aqua Lance instead of that, a Crushing Wave. So if I am going to use Aqua Lance, I would definitely use that over this. But let's say if I didn't, a good combo to always use is Vortex Trap and Whirling Dervish. That's why Super Speed is a lovely thing to have. So you can utilize stuff like that. Single target, Tornado Pool hits very hard. I don't think there's pretty much else. That has more single target. I'm trying to look for anything else. Heat Vision, of course, single target. Can be utilized in multi-target as well, but normally single target. Let me actually try this Aquatic Arsenal. Blood on Crushing Wave. Now, I would normally use this in my loadout if I was using the PI, because supercharging rate and the PI, and damage over time, so it's nice too. But unless the damage over time is just really pathetic, like 200 or something, then I'll use this because this does more damage than that does. But yeah, I want to try it without power interaction and then with the power interaction, and then match that up comparatively speaking to the other stuff. Now you will have normal staples like Whirling Dervish and Vortex Trap. Whirling Dervish hits harder than Vortex Trap. But if you have both, they hit very lovely. If you have both going on, that's when I would more recommend that you have more damage over times and whatnot. Like, it would be smart to even use Bubble here, because in a sense, like damage over time, use the Drown, so Bubble Drown, Robot Sidekick, Neon Venom, Vortex Trap, or Whirling Dervish. That could be a loadout right there. I don't know. I will test it out. But you want to look for stuff like that. What's the hardest hitting powers? Test them all out. I like to go on single target one and test them out to better calculate, if you will. Now, if you want to know if they hit AoE, hit them and line them up and do it, or just hit it over here and do it that way too. And the same goes for here, and you see how much of a radius of AoE, if they'll do like on this half and not that half all together, or what. Or maybe all 8, or maybe all 7 and just leave the one in the back out. I don't know why, but sometimes it does stuff, okay? But you always test this stuff out. If you're looking for a damage loadout that you're trying to make. Trolls I've made pretty easy. Just make sure your debuffs are there. If you're using the one artifact that makes your one debuff hit all debuffs, then that makes it even easier for you. Just pick one that you like. Basically, I will say for gadgets and mental, not a lot of people like the enemies being put into like the bubbles and the little stasis fields anymore. It is very useful and actually required on some things, some instances, raids, alerts, duo solos, whatever. But it's required in some content, not so much others. As a main general sense, most people don't like that because it affects their damage, it messes them up, messes with the tanks, depending on the circumstances too. Just ask your group about it if you are trying to use it, and be kind and courteous to everyone. Tanks, really just utilize look for what you're trying to do. Okay, when I say that, definitely have shields on hand. No matter if you're ice or not. Ice, you definitely have the shields. That's what you rely on. Look for how you heal or how you tank. I.e., rage, you do your basically your rage mode, and then you try to avoid the rage crash. Okay, so you look for that, utilize that in your loadout. Fire, you heal yourself a lot. Okay, look for stuff that there's a shield that also heals you, and it takes away like 30% of your damage that's coming into you. Utilize stuff like that. Stoke flames on fire, helps heal you over time. Things like that. You're getting healed a lot. You're buffing up yourself, your health, and you're just healing yourself a lot. Then you're healing you on top of that. Helps out. Ice, look for lots of shields, a lot of damage mitigation stuff, defense stuff. Okay. Earth, Earth has two ways to actually tank. You can transfer it to brick, or you can take it in yourself. Depending on what you're looking for and what you're trying to do, go accordingly. Read your powers, basically. So what I'm trying to say, know a general sense of what you're trying to do with your power or how you're trying to go about it. If you don't know the general sense, ask around or look at a YouTube video. Thinking about it now, I probably will come out with general tips and guides, if you will, for each role and how it should be fulfilled and how you go about inspecting it, making a loadout, modding it, etc. Yeah, I'll let y'all know. I'll keep you up to date with that stuff too. So you can check out my videos that will be coming soon. Hopefully within this next month, I have all of them done. But we'll see. Subscribe to my channel and put on the little bell so you'll get notified when the videos do come out. Stay up to date, things like that. Without further ado, y'all, I don't want to make this part 2 that much longer. But I showed y'all a lot of the damage stuff, healing stuff, was more covered in part 1. But I mentioned a little bit in this part as well. Troll stuff, debuff, make sure you definitely have defense. You might need healing stuff, healing debuff as well, depending on the content that you're playing. And you definitely just need to make sure you're putting out power, have your shield, or type of way like hide or whatever. And especially with troll, have your supercharge that basically puts out power over time as well. Tank, it depends how you want to tank. It depends on you'll be an EOG tank, like how some people can be EOG, Aya Gemini's EOG. Healers, if you're gonna do that, you can, cool. If not, it's whatever. It's on you. Pick how you want to play. I would advise you try different ways to see how you want to play. The way I even heal is not necessarily the more quote unquote meta or orthodox as some people say, but I've also been called some of the best healers in the game. You know what I mean? Other people, not just myself. I used to have the title Healer Supreme too. So I mean, and the way I heal is not normal for other people. So I mean, it's just whatever. It's how you play. Your timing, your skill will help you a lot. Okay, and if you don't have that much time and skill, then hey, learn your power. It helps you even more. Okay, I take time to learn or at least watch a couple of YouTube videos on different powers, whatnot. You know, expand your horizons, expand your borders, things of that nature. But look, this video is already long as it is, so without further ado, y'all, stay tuned. I will put out more videos. Subscribe if you're new, or if you're old and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that red button. Press the bell so you know when I get notified. All that good stuff. Like the video, share it around for those who need it and those who don't or that might. Look, it's your boy Trey TJ, man. Without further ado, I'm out. Shalom.